Okay.
That,
We
yeah,
agree.
you see.
You have to.
And then continue.
Yes. What?
Yeah, I have an announcement which says
Yes.
continue
or leave, because it's a new thing that Zoom implemented, because there are some people who don't want to be filmed or recorded.
Yes.
So
okay, that's good.
You can leave. Yes, it's very good. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to our second meeting. This is the first
official one, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. The official one. Because we met in the opening event in April. So now we are all here, starting a new year of our SIG. Welcome to Cynthia. Yes, because she's going to be part of the coordination group. And she will help us, Noelia and me, with all the administrative issues of the SIGs. And well, so welcome, Cynthia, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. And well, I hope I can help all of you to give you a hand with the technological thing and some others. Today, I'm going to mention some others because I consider that not only is it important to take into account this word of technology, but also what is happening on the other side and many other things. So it's a pleasure. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, shall I start sharing the agenda, and then Gabi, I think we can give those announcements that we want to. Let me. I need you to allow me to share the screen.
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. I haven't mentioned it because I saw share a screen, so I thought it was available. Sorry, I didn't check that before. Tell me when it's ready. It's ready.
Now it's ready.
Ceci's coming. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but well, this is the agenda for today's meeting. So May the 29th meeting agenda. Welcome everyone. Well, we are going to share, well, we have shared some welcome words. We are going to deal with future meetings organization. We are going to read right now, and then we are going to listen to our SIGers presentations, comments on today's topic, which is what worked or didn't work during the pandemic. But we are still, unfortunately, we're still dealing with this virus. So we are going to listen to them, sharing their experiences, and of course, as we all know, we can participate and ask questions and be ready also to share our own experiences. We mean in teaching experiences, okay, classroom experiences. Well, that would be all. Let's enjoy today's meeting, okay? And I'm going to stop sharing the screen, Gabi, and perhaps we can give those announcements.
Yes.
And good morning to the ones who are joining in. Hello, Ceci. Hello, Horacio.
Hello. Horacio, hello. Juliana. Well, we have new members this year, so that's nice.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm using my husband's.
Okay.
We were happy because we had a man. We were talking about that before.
I cannot activate the camera, so I'll go. Yeah, I'll leave the meeting and come back again because I cannot seem to activate the camera.
And who are you? Who are you? You are
Viviana,
not
Viviana Mesduki.
Vivi.
Vivi. A known timer. Sorry, I don't know
Okay, Vivi.
about this
I
face.
didn't recognize her voice either.
No, me neither.
It's too early.
Yes,
It is, yes, today
yes.
is
A ver. Okay, this camera.
earlier.
Yeah. No, that's not.
Uh,
I have to change the camera. No, no sé. Bueno, me voy y vuelvo. Hasta luego.
Andate
okay,
tranquila.
come on.
A ver. Yoshida, camera.
Well, Gabi, I don't know if you want to start.
Yes,
with-
I want to say this because I know that there was some goes and comes with in the WhatsApp about the creation of the new WhatsApp group. Okay, it was an idea that that suggested one of the Sigers who was in the opening event because there was the previous WhatsApp group had a lot of participants and some of them how can I say some of them had some administrative issues with Apiba, and we thought that take them away from the WhatsApp group was a bit rude or unpolite, or so this participant suggested the creation of the new WhatsApp group to polish the previous one, and that was all. Okay, and all the participants who were in the first meeting, we agree with that. So that's why of the creation of the WhatsApp group. Yeah, it is still open, and the ones who are participating in the old one can move to the new one. But that was the reason why we created a new WhatsApp group. Okay, yes. And another thing that I want to say is that everything that the coordinators do, we always consulted with you. Yes. And everything is agree with you. We don't do anything if you don't agree with. Is it clear? Yeah. Good. Do you have any question? Yes, Sole. Don't worry, Sole.
Alice.
Do you have any question, any suggestion, maybe? I don't know. No? Very good.
And then Gabi and Sin,
Yes.
we have to agree on a time for future meetings and the date. That would be fine.
Yes.
We all agree on that. Hello, Alice.
Hi, Alice. Welcome. Good morning. So Apiba asks.
Hello.
Hello. Apiba asks.
Romina has sent a message saying she will join us in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Apiba always asks the dates of the meetings beforehand. So we have to agree on that before the end, before the meeting ends. Okay. So we thought that the most suitable time for next meeting would be June the 19th. Because the 5th and the 12th, there are two webinars.
The 19th will be a long weekend. I don't know whether that makes any difference in the present context. Yes, because the 21st is a holiday. The Monday after that.
Yeah,
and the Thursday before that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes a difference.
No, yes, it can be.
So maybe the 12th, or the 12th and the 26th that are webinars, you say?
The 5th and the 12th are webinars.
So we would have to go to the 26th.
The 26th?
If
yeah.
If the 19th is a long holiday and the other two are already taken.
Yes. And then in July,
We still don't know
we-
when the winter break will be at schools. That
No,
could make
yes.
a difference, but we don't know because they are planning to change it, they say, so we don't know.
Yes.
Mm.
Well,
It's quite messy this year.
yeah, yes.
Mhm.
Well, every year is a little messier.
Yes, it's even messier than the previous one. So
Yeah. Okay, so what do you say?
Is it a
Next.
symptom of getting older? Because
I no.
no. It's a question of the pandemic.
Yeah, it's a
We
question
are
of the
not
pandemic.
going
That's it.
exactly.
We are getting younger.
Let's blame the COVID.
Okay, so next meeting, the 26th.
what time?
We
What
have
do
to
you?
agree on that.
9:30 or 10? Because today is too early. I admit that. But yeah, it's terrible. But well, the time was because the change of the time was because today there was supposed to be a webinar. Okay.
And
So
whenever
then
it's an Apiba webinar, we must try to fix the meeting, the SIG meeting, so everyone can attend to the to the webinar.
I think 9:30 is better in case someone is in another SIG that meets at 11.
Yes.
Because
exactly.
it's sometimes this like
Okay.
gives
Okay,
you the chance of participating in both.
Very good.
I agree.
9:30.
Okay.
9:30. Very good. So
How long will it last? An hour and a half as last year, or
Yeah,
just
more or
2
less.
hours?
1 hour last year, and then we
One-
stayed a little longer.
No, it was an hour and a half.
Yes.
yes.
You're
So-
saying, sorry, I
Because
cannot
some-
fix the camera issue.
Some
Don't
SIGs
worry.
last 2 hours. That's why.
Oh, that's too much. I think.
No, yes, too much. 2 hours
Okay.
is too much.
If nothing changes, June the 26th at 10 o'clock is the phonology SIG, but I understand that we cannot do everything. So, and I don't know, we have to leave at 10
Any of
because
us? Is any of us
today-
in the technology SIG?
I will be there at 10 o'clock today because there is a visitor.
Yes, but and
Victory.
then and
I'm the
sorry.
26th too.
Yes, but it's okay. I'm just telling you because I know, but
Yeah.
things can change. So
Yeah.
June
whatever.
the 26th, Ceci. No, the 12th is not possible, Ceci. There is a webinar.
It's Darío's
Unless-
webinar.
Unless we do it earlier as today, but
And what about the previous one? What did you say about the previous one?
What
The
previous?
19th.
The 19th.
It was a long weekend.
And are you traveling?
Well, I said in the present context, I don't know whether that makes a difference. I just mentioned it, but I don't know if
Yeah.
it really matters.
But the thing is that I remember that most of the SIGs meet the 19th.
Ah,
The language SIG, wellness SIG. There are many SIGs who meet.
So the 26th is better. Okay, let's leave it on the 26th then.
9:30.
Yes, 9:30 is
Yes.
okay.
okay,
Okay.
9:30.
Okay. And then in July,
Awesome.
because they asked me,
July.
yes, Apiba asked me in the asked us, okay, in the calendar to
The problem is the second half
Yes.
of July is the winter break. So if we have
Yeah.
to have a meeting in July, it should be
The first fortnight, yes.
On the
either
10th.
the 10th.
The 10th or
The
the
thing
first.
is that it will
but the
be
9th is a
like
holiday.
too near.
Ah,
And the 9th
Yes.
and the 9th is a holiday,
on the 17th,
I guess.
before the break, before winter
Yeah,
break.
just before the
Mm.
break starts.
the 17th.
I think it's the best option.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
9:30.
Okay,
At 9:30 again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Or
so
yeah.
July.
Yes, I think it's better to set a time and keep it because
Yeah.
if not, you
Yes.
don't
That's
know.
the idea.
That would be the
Yes,
best.
that's
Mhm.
that's the idea.
So it's
That's
always
the idea.
9:30, an
Yes.
exception.
Yes,
An
it was the
exception to the
original
rule.
time. Mhm. Decided before.
Exactly, yes.
Very good.
No,
very good.
says it's June the 26th.
We don't know if the date of the winter break will
Yeah.
be changed. That's true, Anna.
There were rumors that in the city, I mean, the city authorities were planning to start holidays on the 5th, but that's a rumor, and that's the city. The province of Buenos Aires may have a different arrangement. Probably depends on the epidemiological circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, just in case we have a month to change it.
Yes.
Okay.
But
So
that was the idea, to set a time, a fixed time.
Yes.
That can be changed.
And
I don't
sorry,
know.
but
Yes.
maybe even if it's a holiday, it could be a benefit because you are more relaxed to enjoy it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many people are traveling, right? So
yes.
I think that it could be.
And in any case, even if you're traveling, well, being online implies that you can join wherever you are.
Right.
That's
yes.
true.
Because if we keep changing and changing and changing and find it, you will never find the perfect time because there are always other things at the same time. Yes. So
great.
Well, if you agree, I will share again the slide with the agenda for the ones who couldn't see it, and we start. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we were presenting this. So this is today's agenda. So we have already covered the future meetings organization. So now we are going to have the pleasure of listening to our SIGers presentations. And let's remind you the topic. They will share with us experiences during the pandemic, what worked and didn't. As regards technology, yes, classroom experiences, well, during these times. So, and let's enjoy.
Yes.
I will stop sharing with you this.
Okay. And Cynthia, are you going to start? Yes, she wants to
Okay.
share.
Yes. Well, I have some ideas here that, as we were saying, I would like you to comment on them because I don't want it to be something that is only for me. I would like to know what happened to you too. And so that we all can share and see if this is the best, this is not, what might happen, because I work with small groups and maybe what can happen with bigger groups. So I would like to know also what happens on your side. I will put into context what I have done, because I especially work with language schools. So you know that it's not the same as working with the real schools, let's say, and the groups are small, children work in a different way, so it's not the same. And I also work with adult students from different companies, and they are also really small groups, 2-3 people. So I'm going to comment on those experiences. It's not big groups that I work with. So I would like, if you have school groups, I would like you to tell me a bit what happened or what could happen in the situation that I'm going to talk about. So the first thing is that I saw, well, I will tell you something else. I usually work with a lot of technology, either in the classroom or outside the classroom. I have been using technology for many years, even before the pandemic. But I saw that there was a need to get a bit away from the technology during the pandemic because it was too much. Screens for the school, screens for the English lessons, screens for the PlayStation, the telephone, the computer, with many things. So for me, there was a need for kids to do something different with their screen. One of the things that I noticed was that especially kids who were about 12, 14, 15, they had a real need for interaction with each other. So in my lessons with those kids, what we used to do was, in the beginning, as we were doing here too, is to speak about something different, not about the lesson. Because if I went directly to the lesson, the kids were somewhere else. So it was necessary for me to have a chat with them, something really informal, even in Spanish sometimes, because they needed to talk about their days, their family, what was going around. And not only the pandemic, sometimes they didn't mention the pandemic, but they needed to speak to have this kind of communication that maybe they had at the door of the school, and they didn't have time to do it during these lessons. So I usually allow them to get into the class and start speaking about what they had done during the week, how they felt, as the other people were joining too, because this was an issue that sometimes some people had difficulties connecting. So for me, it was not something bad. It was, I tried to take advantage of those minutes, trying to know my students or allowing them to know myself too, and interacting with each other. That interaction also took place during breaks. My lessons for these groups used to last an hour and a half. So for 12-year-old children, that is too much. We used to have a break in the middle. And during the break, I noticed that they wanted to continue speaking. So I allowed them to stay in front of the screen, and they chatted with each other. So they got to know each other in a different way, even a bit more than in the classroom, because they wanted to know a lot about each other. They tried to find things in common. I work a lot with my students' interests. So when they noticed there was something similar and it was break time, they said, vos también te gustan. So they continued chatting about what they liked or didn't like. And I noticed that this was so necessary that I said, well, I am here during the break. I was with my camera off, but if you want to speak, you can speak. So I just let them know that I was there so that they behaved and everything was okay. But they chat as if I was not there. It was really informal. They were trying to get to know each other. Sometimes they stayed, or sometimes they connected back 5 minutes before the lesson. They were 10 minutes that they had for breaks. So I don't know if you had any experience of these, of students trying to interact with each other, wanted to talk. How
all the time, especially with kids. The problem is with the adolescents. Okay, this is my
I
big
had no problem with adolescents in that context, and they did want that. We use Zoom breakout rooms.
Yes. No,
but we couldn't use them. They even had WhatsApp groups. I mean, they organized group calls, and I gave them 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do something, and they used that time to interact too. And I was a bit worried because I work at secondary school. So I said, if they disconnect, because they go to the WhatsApp group and they don't come back, what will happen and all that? And it worked wonderfully. They did love that possibility.
Yeah. Well, in my case, the problem is when they work in the breakout rooms, because all my classes are I try to make them work in groups, okay, in the breakout rooms, okay. But the problem, or at least what I notice, the older ones, is that they don't want to interact with me, they don't want to, because they said that they, not only with me, but with all the teachers, they don't want to be asked how they feel, because they are bad. They don't want to be in the pandemic. That was very strange, because it's last year didn't happen. But yes, they don't want to show their feelings. Okay, they only want to work. Because if we ask, this is what they said, if we ask, the teachers ask how they feel, how they are feeling, how they are dealing with the pandemic, or how they are dealing with the online classes, it's like all the time we are reminding them, okay, what is happening, that they are at home, they are not enjoying their schools, okay. It's very strange. I mean, I guess that it is a particular group, or a particular community of students. Yes.
I want to say something. I never asked any of my students how they are feeling about it, because I hate being asked that, and I don't want to talk about how I feel about the pandemic.
Okay.
So maybe it's not like I hate it irrationally, but I feel it will make me sad, and I will start, my catharsis with my group of students, sort of. So I never asked directly how they are feeling about the pandemic, or how they're coping with it. I noticed this with a colleague of mine, because last year all her assignments had to, I don't know, they had to share a photo. It was my last photo, my last normal photo before the pandemic. And things like, and the students, and the students love that. I don't know, I saw that and they said this was a photo on the first day at school, and they love that. They had a song and they wrote a song how they felt during the pandemic. And they did incredible things about the pandemic, and apparently her group enjoyed it, but I never mentioned the topic, only once or twice, in a kind of joke, you know. But I don't know, I guess, I don't know about the adults, or maybe Cynthia working with adults can tell us about that, but
Cynthia left.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I agreed with the experience of they are wanting to share and to interact, but not to talk about the pandemic directly.
No, but how they feel, maybe, yeah. I mean,
no, maybe unless you say how you are feeling today, forget it. There is a pandemic context.
No,
like,
no,
okay,
not
it's
the
Monday.
pandemic.
Yeah,
No, but
perhaps not talking directly. How do
about
you
the
feel
pandemic.
about the pandemic? Just how are you today? Perhaps, and that's
okay.
good.
Maybe, but you know,
that's very
forgetting
personal.
the restrictions and everything, because if you say how are you coping now that you cannot go out, well, then there you go again.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay,
Vivi is raising her hand, and
Yes.
then Juli. And bye, Shani, well, left there.
Okay.
Oh, did you say Viviana? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, Vivi.
Okay. No, what I wanted to say is that I'm not teaching at the moment. I've retired, but I am listening in on lessons. I'm auditing. So what I see is that, for example, little kids last year and this year as well, what the teacher does is after the lesson, she's around, as somebody else said, and they want to continue socializing. And this happened last year, and the teacher says, okay, I'm around, and she goes off camera, and they have fun. And last year, parents thanked us for allowing their children to socialize when they couldn't in person. And that made them very happy. So this year, the teacher is doing the same. She's leaving some extra time for them to socialize and, well, quote unquote, network, let's say, after the lesson. I'm talking about little kids. And what is working with our teachers, with adults and adolescents, is the breakout rooms. That's working wonderfully. I think that's great. Now, just a short comment.
I'm sorry. Yes. And Juliana?
Well, yes, in my case, what I wanted to share is something similar to what Cynthia said. It's happening to me right now, but with young adults, adolescents, maybe who are 17, 18, or who are starting university. They are sort of burnt out because of, everything is online. Last year, they had to, of course, attend school, university online, this year as well. So I had this feeling that when they connected to my classes, I teach them international exam classes, they didn't have any energy. I just started the lesson like, hello, how are you? Nobody answered. And I said, well, I have to change this. So one idea is similar to what Anabella shared in the chat. I share maybe a Jamboard or a collaborative document, and I ask them, okay, find an image that represents how you're feeling today. Or I show them different emojis. How are you feeling today? In some other cases, maybe I start the lesson by asking them, well, share something positive that happened to you during this week. All right, so that the energy, the mood is different, and they're ready to start the lesson in another way. Otherwise, I felt they were like, yes, sort of lacking energy. And regarding younger students, like 12-year-olds or 13-year-olds, what works for me is having breaks, but asking them to disconnect from Zoom. And we call them active breaks. Like we assign maybe a reading activity or a grammar activity or any activity that they would do in a like face-to-face class where the teacher is just monitoring, but they don't actually need the teacher. So we assign those activities for an active break. We give them 15, 20 minutes, depending on the activity, and then we meet again to check the activity. And that really works because they know they can go to the toilet at that time, they can have something to drink, and they disconnect from the screen for some minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you.
This comes to my mind now that I listen to you, because I don't work with children. But I was thinking that this is a time that is contrary to what we have experienced so far, that life is out of the home, no? Or was out of the home. Everything was out, school, sports, friends, whatever. So this is a time of introspection. So maybe help them find something that they haven't discovered, like painting, drawing, cooking, and maybe trying to comment on things like that, music, getting the lyrics, trying to get the lyrics, contemplating trees, a flower, a bird, singing, I don't know, something, because we need to go inside, right? Or maybe planning something that they would like to do once this is over. So try to go inside and find those emotions, because asking them, how do they feel now? What? If everything is the same, there comes a moment when there is boredom, because they always talk about the same thing, they don't move. So let's find the richness that human beings have inside and explore that. Maybe writing their feelings, and not to share, just for themselves, to write it and to find it sometime in the future, maybe 10 years ahead.
Yeah.
So maybe we could.
Yeah, like a journal. Yes. Like a journal, to keep a journal. Yeah.
Right. Or recording, I don't know, singing and trying to sing, no matter how good they sing or not, right? It's yes, exploring something that if not, you don't have time to explore.
Yeah. Sorry.
My experience is quite varied, because last year I was teaching at Lenguas Vivas in secondary school, and I have different groups. First year, bilingual section, fourth year, and fifth year. In first year, well, there were the new students who had only been at school for about 3 weeks, because they had to start in February. So after the first week of classes at school, we had to go to starting online classes. At first, we were not, there were no clear directions about what to do in terms of video conference, but they enjoyed having these chances to get together. We usually spend the first few minutes talking about whatever they wanted. At the beginning of the year, we had to deal with used to. So one of the assignments I gave them was to compare what they used to do before the pandemic and what they started doing. And they shared some of these experiences about going back to their hobbies, like painting, drawing, writing poetry, listening to music, playing musical instruments, playing board games with their family. And then I stopped asking, but just let them, tell me whatever they wanted. In the case of fourth year, I had two sections. Those who were dealing with English as the first language that they were learning. They had been learning it since primary school. And they were quite lazy. I don't know. It seems like most of the kids in the group were perhaps going through different psychological problems, and they didn't participate much. And then the second language, which we have in linguas, they start in third, then they move on to fourth and fifth year. And these were more communicative in the way they could, because they were almost beginners. The same happened to me with fifth year with second language. They were very interested in learning, and they were also doing the first year at university together with secondary school, which was quite hard, but they knew that the UBA 21 was going to be online, and they adapted perfectly. And the other group, what we do in English is literature. So at the beginning of the year, we were dealing with The Catcher in the Rye, which was a 1 week meeting, because we also, I mean, you know, at state-maintained schools, we had to find a balance between the time when we had Zoom meetings, and well, that was perfect because they were just mainly for discussions or for talking about the assignments that they were given. And they usually discussed how they felt because they were 17, 18. On the other hand, I also teach at, I'm forgetting to tell you about first year students. I teach 2 subjects, English and a topic that is connected with cultural integration. And so they had a chance to participate in Global Scholars. Global Scholars has a different e-platform. And so there they have assignments, but they have to post their ideas, their assignments, their videos, their production, and share it with students from other schools all over the world. And that was very interesting because they understood that other people in other countries, in Europe or in the USA or in Asia, were going through the same situation as they had. In some places, they had hybrid education. In most places, they were in lockdown just like them. And so they started sharing their experience. That year's topic was about how they dealt with their garbage, what they do, how we could stop using so much plastic, how to recycle. They share their ideas, and then they started talking about perhaps music or some other topic. And they started saying, oh, yes, I like the same band. And so they went and communicated with students from other places in the world that were going through the same experience. Eventually, we had the chance to have video conferences with a school in San Diego, another one in Paris, and another one in Florida. And especially my students were much eager to talk in the break rooms than some of the other students that were much shyer, although they were about the same age. I mean, these students are 13 years old, yes. And they loved it. I think that they had so many things to do that most of them were more positive about the experience, thinking that this year was going to be different, that things would go better. On the other hand, I teach in a school here in Temple, where at the beginning of the year we had very few chances of having video conferences because the authority says it's not clear whether we can deal with students' faces, how this is going to be accepted by the Ministry of Education. And so I used Edmodo because for me, Edmodo is one of the possibilities that doesn't take up as much memory as Google Classroom. And Edmodo also has a possibility of sending messages. So my students send me messages, obviously in Spanish, because this is an ordinary escuela media. And they shared their different situations. Like, I mean, students who have evening classes told me that they had lost their jobs, that they couldn't, they were having difficulty with the family, that someone in the family had caught COVID. And obviously it was the way that they could communicate because, you know, they can use Edmodo in the phones and it doesn't take up much memory because it's online. And on the other hand, I also taught at an institute, and there usually students started talking about how they felt at the beginning of the class. The resources I used were the ones that you have in the books, like, you know, English File or other books that already have videos, activities. So we communicated with Google, with Zoom, sorry. And the institute has its own Moodle platform. So that was a way of having internal messages whenever we were not in class, and then to perhaps say what they wanted to say. If they wanted to have a 5-minute presentation before the class, I mean, mini presentation in terms of discuss any topic that you're interested in. But on the whole, they adapted quite well. Most of them adapted quite well. Even in spite of time constraints, as I say, this possibility of having the Edmodo classroom where they could send messages whenever they wanted allowed them a possibility to have a more personalized communication in case they didn't want to share something with their classmates.
Sorry, I have like a kind of technical question. I'm asking to everyone, do you recommend Edmodo instead of Google Classroom? I mean, do you think is it better?
From my point of view,
I'm just asking because I don't know.
Yeah, I had already used Edmodo. I mean, I started using, I think, in 2013 or 14, because it was a way of sharing, links or videos or material that was simpler than using the email. What is an advantage for me is that in the case of Google Classroom, it's part of your memory. That, Google includes all your emails and your Google Drive and the material that you have there, whereas Edmodo is a different platform. For the time being, it's free, and I've got classes, as I say, from those years with material there, and they never told me that I'm running out of memory.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, I understand.
But I think that it all depends of the group. In my case, my students, I have some students that are more comfortable using Google Classroom, and others with other groups Edmodo. So for me, it's messy. It is messy because I have some groups with Edmodo and with Google Classroom, but well, so I try to simplify everything during the pandemic, especially last year, because I didn't want to change anything that they were accustomed to,
But which one do you prefer, one or the other, Gabi?
I prefer Google Classroom because I have everything there. So there are many apps that are in synchro, okay, with Google Classroom, and most of my students find it easiest to work with Google Classroom, even the school. Okay, even the school as an organization prefers Google Classroom.
Because of the integration mostly, no? Really, that integration with Google makes it all simple. It's just, for example, at the licenciatura, at the diplomatura in business English, they decided to change Google Classroom, and now we're going for Drive because it was like adults found it kind of messy to be in contact with receiving so many messages all the time. And I think that the problem today is that for adults, basically, is that they have to manage their own platforms at work, their different children's classrooms. So probably they have Microsoft Teams, and then at school, Google Classroom. And then, so if we gave them time, probably they would adapt to one or two and to one, but they've had to manage. I mean, I'm thinking about parents, maybe 3 different platforms, depending on what their students were doing.
And all that. And the companies all the time are offering new and new things that you say, oh, okay, I'm going to try. Oh God, and then you are like
now you go crazy. I would like to share. I thought of today, and I thought of 4 things to share. If you allow me, I liked Ali's idea, and really that's going out of the and what Cynthia said also, going out of the place. So I've done a lot of things to go out, like scavenger hunts in real life and whatever. And let me share a few screens just to show and tell, better than say and tell. I'm gonna share my screen.
Doing is the thing.
And then Gladys, raise her hand, okay? Then Gladys, you talk.
Gladys will talk. So, sorry, Gladys, you want to come in now?
Just a comment on what you were saying.
Yeah.
I was thinking of what was common between the different events so far, let's say. And I think one thing is they need to have one fixed environment for group interaction, a platform, a mail, a WhatsApp group. And then this idea of selecting a few tools that work for different purposes, like, okay, we communicate using this channel, we share activities using in this, and creating some routines, because I think that's what we lack with the disappearance, let's say the closing of schools. So that worked for us all. And that was beginning. Then, yes, as you said, some students prefer Google Classrooms, others prefer, and then there is the question of what the teacher is familiarized with, because last year I was pushed into Google Classroom late. It was my fourth platform, I think. I was working on 4 different platforms, and I didn't use it as well as I'm using it now. And I think I discouraged students too from using it because I was not using something properly. Now that I'm getting to understand it better, it's working better. So I guess it has to do with that, whether students and teachers are really familiarized with that environment and can exploit it effectively.
Yes. We don't, I think it's very difficult, as I always like to say, and I've been saying that for a long time. I really, long ago, but it's like the technological, I've said it and you've heard me, the technological changes in general happen too fast and normally much faster than the culture that is necessary to catch up with them. So culture is always lagging behind. I don't know, I developed a in 1991, 92, I developed self-access language learnings in learning centers at Unilever and Xerox. They were the first ones. I read 101 books, Edith Letwin, I mean, books by about how to implement them. The technology was there, the people were not ready. The managers were not ready. They wouldn't allow their employees to go to the learning center to study, you know, because they felt that they were not at their desks working, you know, that. So even if the technology was there, the technology of the days, because we work with diskettes, imagine, but it's like technology always it happens much faster than the change of mindset, the culture, and everything that we need to catch up with that. So I think that we have to feel happy with okay, we have these, I know the tip of the iceberg, I use it to the best of my ability, and then I balance it out with other things, because it's not all about technology. So, well, I'd like to share, but I absolutely agree with Gladys. It's I mean, we have to know our tool the best we can, but then feel happy with what we have achieved and feel happy. That's it. Okay, I'm going to share screen, then you comment and you tell me what you think. But what worked, what didn't? Wow, so many things worked, and not only and so many didn't. I've changed my plan because some things didn't work from here. And for my students, I asked them. But one of the things that I really am obsessed this year about is systematization. And I'm going to share one. I mean, it looks ridiculous probably because within the lesson, but the question of logistics, apart from pedagogy or andragogy, but logistics is important. So I'm going to share 4 ideas that cover a range of those topics that I consider important. Well, first I was exploring thank you very much for dear future me. Who was it that shared this?
Yes, Juliana. That is great.
Yes, I actually took the idea from a book. Like, I don't remember which book, but they had like a reading task, an article about this, and they suggested the website, and it is real. So yeah, it works. Yes.
I like this. I like this.
Have you tried the website? Because I wanted to use it last year, and I sent myself a test message, and I never got it. So I didn't recommend it to the students because it failed for me. So I wanted to. It seems to be working, but I sent. I think the minimum deadline was 1 week in the future, something like that. I sent a message to myself, and I never got it. Did it work for you?
Yes, I got it. I tried it. Yes, I got it. Maybe, I don't know, spam or some email account.
Like, well, but I'll try again then.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, well, one of the sites that, because we know there are a million sites, but one of the sites that I liked most, and although some presentations are very simple because they are like PowerPoint presentations, you know, with animation. But you know what? I found that it covered a lot of interesting topics. I work mostly with adult students in companies, private, and in companies, in groups, individual, I mean, private lessons, one-to-one, and in groups of 5. You know, I found many interesting activities here in Cool English for listening, speaking, reading, tourism, something short and simple for debate, very simple activities already designed for all these topics. You know, it was so, I mean, whenever my brain was burnt, I just explored what I could find here related to the topic that I was dealing with, and it always helped. Or I could always find something in a few minutes. So it was like my card up the sleeve, you know. So this is one site. Another one, another thing I did. Well, of course, you know this tool, we discussed it, Flippity. I loved to get my students to play and to get to know each other and whatever. I'm starting with new groups. And I used Flippity. In this case, we have a scavenger hunt, and we're going to play a little we're going to see if we can unlock two padlocks. Let's see who can answer this.
Where do you find the content?
Come on, we have a little time. We can press.
The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games. Okay, let's check. You mean the Hunger Games, for example?
No.
Let's play a little. No? Oh, no. No. What was the word? Hunger.
The Hunger.
Oh, yeah, Hunger. Yes. Yeah, and I do.
Yes.
You know, okay, let's go back. Okay, another one. Well, maybe you want to choose a number. Well, we can do number 2. What 4 ingredients go into a cosmopolitan cocktail? This is for adults.
Lemon.
I don't know.
Lime, lemon. The issue here is in the design, because you can. I tell them you can Google. Come on, Mr. Google knows. Go, and because they
alcohol.
learn.
Yeah.
Some kind of alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm drinking water and coffee. Alcohol. What else? Come on, look it up. What else?
Lime, alcohol.
Cosmopolitan cocktail. I don't know anything
so
about
let's
cocktails.
imagine you would Google
Sugar. Or sweet and low.
Orange juice. They say orange juice or orange liquor. Well, blah blah blah. You would put it. The problem with this one is that if you don't put it in the exact order, it will not render it right. So my suggestion is, when you design, to put a couple of ingredients. For example, besides this, and that, which other key ingredient does it have? And they have to look for one ingredient, okay? If you don't put the period, the comma, it's wrong. So I'm not here, I would have to go click, and I made this mistake. This didn't work because of design. So I would, when I realized, I would go to the original, because it's an Excel file, and then it turns into this automatically. It's so simple. I would copy paste the correct answer after they had given the right ingredients. And then, well, of course, what does the Pomodoro technique consist of? Because we had discussed that in class.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, so there are many questions that are fun and are nice. What does LGBTQ stand for? And well, yeah, the lesbian.
Okay, this is similar to quizzes, no?
This is a quiz. You have the answers afterwards, you know.
But I mean the app quizzes.
Yes, it's similar to quizzes. You can, yes. Look at Flippity. I mean, the ones who don't know it.
No, I don't know it.
No,
well,
it is
just
great.
explore it.
Amazing.
Explore it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Do you always have to like import like a spreadsheet? That is what I find confusing. I must admit that I have to like sit down and explore it. But
no, wait, let me show you my
bit.
spreadsheet.
With only one spreadsheet, you can make
look at this.
a lot
Here
of
it
games.
is. This is the spreadsheet of the
Ah,
they give you the spreadsheet in the backstage, you know, and then what you have to do, I mean, I just change the questions. I sometimes include a clue, sometimes I don't. Sometimes you can have open-ended questions, like who is the oldest member of this group? Because I started with a new group this week, and I wanted them to
the youngest, never the oldest.
Yeah, it's true. It was me in the end. But you put an asterisk.
It was me.
Because I was a member of the group and they realized that, oh, it's the teacher. I said, oh, you, fuck you. Okay, but you can put an asterisk, you know, how versatile. So it's not only about knowing a lot of tools. Maybe one tool can render nice kinds of interaction. You can get people to talk among themselves. For example, this one was a good question because Michelangelo da Vinci, El Greco, Leonardo da Vinci, no? What is the largest country in the world? Russia. This is the question I had trouble with, you see, because if I didn't write it in the same way, it would be all wrong. So I had to copy and then paste it there. How does it work? I mean, this is just, it's so easy. This is how Flippity works. And you can click on add any question you want. And look, the only thing you have to do, I mean, I'm saving you hours of exploration. Publishing once you have your questions, and don't include here links or anything. Maybe in the hints you can include a PDF or a PNG. Sorry, PDF no, a PNG or JPG. Something for them to look. This was a shark, no. But what you do once you have your this is a terrible answer. Don't do this. One word. 2 words. Here, you put publicar en la web, and when you have your answers and you have put publicar en la web, then yes, sorry, I made it too big now. Sorry, I have to make it smaller. Once you've put publicar en la web, you close it, you don't do anything, and you go to get the link here, you know, you have 3 flaps. You go to the link, and that is the link you have to use. You see, automatically, very simple. All right, well, so this is my second tip. I loved this one. Students had a lot of fun. You can even play the demos, you know. The other day I wanted a warm up, and I don't know. You can have the teams. What would you like to know? Questions about Jeopardy. Choose one. Movies for how many? How many points?
200.
200. Okay. Who played Yoda in the Spy?
I don't know.
Okay. You can look it up and so on. And the answer is Frank Oz. And you have to put team 1. Well, you have to click on wrong or right. You click on that. Well, you can explore it later. I'm not going to stop here. But basically, that's the idea. Oh, well, you can make your own quiz and so on. Flippity. There are many things. You can even group students and you forget and go to demo. You just to have a look. You have your students and you can group them, and you can make groups of 2, 3, 5, 4 teams. You know, whatever. You can groups of 5, and you say, okay, you 3 go to breakout room 1, and so on. So I think it's worth exploring because it saves time. Another thing, any comments? Because I'm sure that many of you know this tool, and maybe you want to.
No, I don't.
Yes, I love it. Because it's really helpful for the time. Sometimes we don't have time, and with this, it goes really, really fast. Well, the Google Word is amazing because you can do anything with one account, and you can even put students to work on this. This is one of the advantages too, that you can tell your students to design the homework for the rest of the group. So I think that is a different way also of assessing them. And they feel more engaged when they have to do this. Sometimes they want to be bad also with their classmates. And so
Yes.
I love this one. Even they have some material that can be printed for the traditional classroom, so you can also have those. I really love it. I think these days it has been including new features, so I still have to go a bit deeper these days.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
And,
yes,
and it is very. I have used this Flippity and Werewolf with the youngest. Yes, and I also allow them to create.
Yeah, that's
one
crucial.
activity. Okay.
Yeah, because they learn more.
And
They learn more. You learn when you produce.
Exactly.
When do you learn? When you create. I absolutely agree with Cynthia.
Yes, they have. I always say that they have to be producers and not consumers of technology,
Right,
because this is the real assessment. Okay, when they produce something in the, I don't know, in a Kahoot, if they create a Kahoot with any content that they have learned during the lesson, so it's great. It's great. So,
yes. Well, here is another example, but you can keep on exploring. But I like this one. You can tell a story about a honeybee randomizer. A honeybee that had a skateboarding accident 20 years ago on the moon. Well, okay, so you can click on any, and I like this idea of creating stories, you know, like, well, okay, and then you click on Flippity, go back to the original. Okay, that's the second. The third thing, I work at the, because I work in campus, I also work at the profesorado and at the diplomatura. Now I'm starting at the diplomatura en inglés de negocios from the UB. And there I haven't started anything yet, but I want to include these things because I want to make adults play. But at the same time, yeah, and I make them play. We did scavenger hunts. I remember last year with this group, in this EdTech Sig, we did a scavenger. We did escape rooms. I played lots of escape rooms and, well, and I also work at the Lengua Vivas. I worked for 25 years, and one of my subjects, no, my only subject is technology, games, crafts, and educational technology. I feel they are a lot because there are many techniques, but it's only one. And look what they've done, because who was it that said, Cynthia, was it that said that she wanted to take students out, and Alicia also take them out and do something different. And we usually make finger puppets. I want to share my pictures. Look, I told them next week, you don't have to come to class. I gave them the techniques. I gave them a PowerPoint with instructions and everything. And in the previous Zoom, I said, okay, you have 2 weeks to present your finger puppet. Choose any topic you want. Choose the topic you want. And these are students at the profesorado, at the Lenguas Vivas, of third year students. So they are finishing. And they have so much, you know, brain work. I mean, they do so much academic work that they usually love this. And I said, we're not going to connect next week because you're going to be having to work on this, but you can work on at any time. And look at the pictures. But I said, you have to send me pictures of the process, you know, and these are the pictures of the step-by-step students working, you know, preparing, getting there. Jennifer Lopez, well, this was a video we saw.
Bravo.
Maybe. Okay, so look at these, and they were sharing. Look at they said they loved getting dirty, their hands dirty,
of course,
and doing something different. And
the hands-on approach.
Oh,
yeah,
look at this. Beautiful.
It's
that
beautiful,
butterfly
isn't it?
is beautiful.
Beautiful. But I love how they prepare the step-by-step. I mean, we can be in pandemic, we can be locked up forever. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Or we can be free forever, but we are free always in our minds also. So really, okay, you can discuss about how shitty you feel. It's okay. And then after that, okay, talk about it. What are you going to do? So it's a feeling. Okay, I made a butterfly because I want to feel free and okay. And they felt well. I mean, it's enjoying the moment. It's the here and now. And they loved this activity. Sorry, yes. I look at this one. She shared a picture. Look at the face. She said, I loved it.
Of course.
No?
Yes.
And then and of course they had to make characters that meant something to them, probably that they could use in class with their students. They used, look at this one, I can't remember the names now, but she's her helper and she has a personality, she has a voice, and they love it. And normally they love their creations, you know? My objective is to follow through. One of them chose to make the Gruffalo, you know, the character in a story, in a book. And then she used that Gruffalo for tales, you know. So, well, this is just another thing that I wanted to share, and I think it's nice. Any comments or suggestions or any other?
Oh, thank you, Ceci. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
As a student, I love this type of activities because we are.
Sorry, Ceci, stop sharing.
Yes, I'm sorry. I have one more later. Sorry. Yes, one last thing. Yes.
No, we are with a lot of work and with a lot of activity. We have to do a lot of things, and it's interesting that a teacher give us an activity to live a bit on the technology. Maybe enjoy as a kid doing those activities.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think there are. Sorry.
I think that is mentioned.
It
word
is very,
enjoy.
Yeah, sorry, but it is 10. It is 10 o'clock. So I don't know if you don't mind to stay a bit more. Staying a bit more.
Yeah, I would like to see Ceci's next activity.
Right. Okay, the last one is different, totally different from what we do. But I didn't mean to hog the session. I thought it was I would be faster. Well, but I'm trying to do it fast.
Because there are other singers who are going to start now. So maybe I don't know if you are going to join.
Well, I don't know.
No?
Shall I
share? Okay. Yes,
please.
Okay,
Very quickly. Please, one of the things. This is we all have busy calendars. No, this is my Google Calendar. I have my lessons and so on. But one of the things, especially when you work with adults, that you waste a lot of time register when you have special sessions for students to register in a special moment, or I take placement tests or whatever. Look at this. This one is Calendly. I love the tool Calendly because, you know, like when you book an appointment for a doctor, so we teachers that work individually in groups with adults or whatever, sometimes we have to book our time and we are in the chat. At what time can you make it? At this time or this time? Or so maybe it's for a special activity, for a makeup or whatever. If you want to set up a system of makeup lessons twice a week, or I don't know, this I use it for oral placements. So I use Calendly. People don't have to, you know, I get information automatically here of the people who have registered for my 15-minute slots. Look at this. I go here. I set up the time. It can be it's free for one time frame is free. So 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour. So you can have a schedule for whatever your special sessions or oral or evaluations, and you don't have to arrange with every student, whatever, and you know who registers, and they register automatically without even you knowing it. And that's the thing, we waste a lot of time arranging these logistics sometimes, and I found this fascinating. So if I just go to, I want to show you my calendar, so people would see something like this. Elegí un horario. Ahí está. So they would, like a doctor, you know, and they register and and it gets automatically inserted in my Google Calendar. Yes, they confirm the timetable, and I have set up some timetables for them to and I don't waste time with that. That's my point. So that's all. Calendly, free.
Calendly.
Time for, yes, Calendly. Okay, that's it. Sorry.
I have never heard about it.
Okay, it's for organization
purposes. Is it similar to Trello? No.
No. Trello is a dashboard for organizing your tasks, organizing the team.
Okay.
But currently is for your time. Our time is so valuable. Suppose you want to set up evaluations for your students, or meetings with new students, or a special session with the ones that are not feeling well. I don't know. Maybe you say, okay, I cannot arrange it. I mean, it will be Tuesdays and Fridays from this time. What you can assign 15-minute slots, 20, 30, 40-minute slots, and you decide how many, and just people get in the link and they register, and they can choose, they can do it freely. You get information you don't know about it, it appears in your calendar. Then you go to there, you can organize a Google meeting, a Zoom meeting, or a telephone call. You decide. Well, that's it.
That's great.
It works a lot.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Ceci. Okay. Does anybody want to say anything else? I don't know, Cynthia, do you want to continue? Because you left.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't know what is happening to my computer, that when I have Windows updates, turns off. So I had a problem. I don't know what I missed during those minutes. If somebody else spoke or something.
No, we are. No.
Okay, just discussing.
Just discussing, yes.
Okay, great. Well, I have some other ideas. As I said, they were related to going beyond technology. One of them is the breaks. Try to have some breaks with your students when you have some long lessons, because they cannot do it half an hour just at once. So I suggested the places where I work that when we have more than an hour, we should have some breaks in the middle. They accepted it. They saw the results. And when we have the breaks, it's like students have, they are more active. So I don't know if you have had breaks in your lessons, if you have tried it, or if you have short lessons.
Yes.
Okay, and apart from the 10-minute breaks, I have the active breaks. That is something that I really suggest doing. I do it with adult students and teenagers, kids. We have activities like, for example, they learn the verbs in the past by using their body. So there was an activity in which they had to remember, for example, I did many other activities, but one of them was, for example, if the verb appeared on the screen, and if the verb was in the past, you had to touch your head. If the verb was in the past perfect, put up your hands. So by doing these type of things, they were trying to remember the verb, and they were also having like not the paper on the trying to write past, present perfect, those things. So they were doing this, and with this, they learned a lot. They were 20 years old was the youngest, and the other one were older, and they learned a lot by doing that. So they had no problem moving their bodies. Sometimes adult students do have problem to do these type of things, but this group was really good, and it worked with them. And the kids, of course, I can tell you about some experiences that they needed to be standing up. So we have that concept of students being on their chairs as they have to study. I have no problem in students standing up. I have to tell you, in my real lessons, I mean in the classroom, I have no problem as long as they work. And I can tell you that I prove it. I see that if they are standing up because they need to, the progress is better. So why should I tell them sit down if they don't work? And I see that they are standing up and I have good results. So that is another thing that maybe they were in their houses and it was this confusion of, am I in lesson? Am I at home, at school? What is this? I could see that this was a confusion in the beginning, especially for kids and also for some adults. Some adults love online lessons, not others. And so they had to get used to it. And well, this thing of allowing them to be as sitting as they wanted, some children took their lessons in their bedrooms. So they were sitting on the bed. What I didn't like was them wearing pajamas, for example, or resting on the bed. I don't like that. But if they were sitting on their beds and they were working, I had no problem. They were comfortable. That was the point for them to be comfortable. Sometimes they didn't want to speak because their family were listening to them. So if I didn't make them comfortable, they wouldn't do anything. So, well, relax, sit down as you want, but when we have to work, be serious, pay attention. So that was another thing. I don't know if you had any of those experiences with kids or any other ages.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Yes.
Because I want to compare my experience with others.
But I agree, yes, I did put a face, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
We've had experiences like that. And I agree with the not comfortable, but not sloppy.
Exactly.
You know, or you know, like just
be yourself.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Yes, I was really surprised with one of the kids that was having a lot of troubles at school. With me, he was really okay because he never sat down. He couldn't. He was all the time moving. And okay, let's take advantage of that movement.
Well, that's the case of the kinesthetic learner.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But he was so restricted at school that his mind was somewhere else. So these kind of things are important, I think. And well, something else that you were saying about adults being confused with technology, that I experienced that. So I decided that with my one of the groups, the problem was especially with one of the groups, that the progress was not so good when they had many things on the computer. So they had Google Classroom, they had all the material there, everything. I try to keep everything organized because I see that students cannot organize themselves sometimes. So I put everything in Google Classroom, the presentation of the lesson, the homework, the different things that I did, maybe some audios they wanted to listen to. But the idea with them was to have everything there just in case. But well, we had to go to the book. They were much better writing with their hands. And that is something that we shouldn't miss, I think, because I could really see that if the homework was on the computer, they were always confused. I don't know if it was technology or what, but they always had problems. If the homework was doing something on the paper, the progress was much better. And I think that this is especially an issue with kids, and it's going to be an issue with kids for the future. This, taking the pencil, taking the pen, and using this in writing on your piece of paper. This shouldn't be lost. Students say, well, I will take a picture of this. No, please take notes of what you're seeing on the screen, of what I'm saying. Take notes of your ideas also. And maybe sometimes they do it on the phone. It's okay. It's a way of recording what you have seen, what you have thought of. But I think that the idea of pen and paper shouldn't be missed, because I could see that with students, when they start writing on the computer, the type of process in their head is not the same. And so I decided to see what happens if they started writing on the paper again, and there was a change. I cannot tell you what really happened.
Yes. But you know what happens? They write in block capitals.
Yes.
They are writing in block capitals. So there's a change that's coming. And obviously they will tell you, well, when I type, I use 10 fingers and I only use 3 when I write. So it's faster. So they have a point there, you see?
Okay.
I think we are going to witness a change in that.
I think I am still trying to see what happens there. I have to investigate, of course. I know there are some studies, but I haven't read much, I have to tell you. But I can see that something is happening. What about your students? Do they need to write on?
Yes, related to what you said and to the question of breaks, sometimes, well, in the context of this, yes, my cat is crazy.
It's usual. No
I work at a private school of English, yes, and in this context, it's where we have the longest lessons, 1 hour and a half, sometimes 2 hour lessons. And with little kids, with pre-adolescents, what we do is there is a moment of the lesson where the teacher explains something. We use the whiteboard on Zoom. We download the picture, or we ask them to take a picture, and then when they go to this active break, we ask them to copy that in their copybooks. All right, because yes, we are convinced that if they do write, there is something that like a mental process or something that like is like the connection is better. Yes, when you use your body, like your hand, you have your paper and so on. And there is this question of little kids like first graders or second graders who are like beginning to like get literate. And
yes.
if we think about the first graders in 2020, probably yes, they don't know how to write correctly, like handwrite. So we are working on this as well, little by little, because we see the importance of that. Okay, so we take this moment of the breaks to do that as well.
Great, thanks for sharing.
Yes, thanks. Sorry, I was writing in the chat and I lost. I can do the both.
No, well, that's all I think. And then, well, we can see what happens this year and we can continue talking about this in the chat or in another meeting.
So I was answering in the chat that Gladys and Ceci were talking about Doodle, these apps for time management. And I don't know what you think, sorry, but maybe our next meeting can deal with those apps that can help us with time management. I remember that last year in one of the meetings we suggested that, but then I think that the 20 years event arrived and we went crazy organizing everything, and then we couldn't deal with that. So what do you think? Are you interested?
I agree.
With that?
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that it's very helpful. Everything that Ceci showed us today was great with and Gladys was suggesting Doodle. I didn't know that. I didn't we only use Doodle, with service with a poll that we do in the SIG. So great. So I don't know if you know any other app for that.
I don't know.
I knew.
Sure. I mean, it's just
Trello. Yes,
it's like a poll, and then you limit instead of by mistake somebody had limited this the one where we had to choose the time this time to one person for each option. Well, you can choose, so you can say 2 for each option or something like that, and then you create groups.
Okay.
But it's basically the same thing we are using for choosing the time for voting here for polls.
And it's for free.
Number of voters. Yes, it is.
It's for free.
It's great.
It's not for free?
Yes, if you choose one calendar only, like for 15 minutes or for 20 minutes. If you want the next to have 2 calendars, like you have 15-minute sessions or 30-minute sessions as well, those 30-minute sessions, so the third calendar, whatever, you pay $8 or $12 per month.
No, on Google, you choose the time slot, so you could have different, you could have a 20-minute session, a 30-minute session, you choose. And you
That's
choose
nice.
on what days and on what times you offer, and then the number of people that can choose each option. And
I love it. I'm going to explore it.
Response, and you can also set like a deadline, like if in a week, let me know who's not answered, and then they send a reminder.
And does it get connected to your Google Calendar? Do you get the people in the Google Calendar automatically updated?
So. I think so. I don't remember for sure, but I think so. Yes, I think so, because when I organized these, I had to interview like over 10 people. So I offered the different slots I had in 1 week. And I told them, I find this, and I limited it to one person, and then they took the slot that worked for them.
Yes, because we are like doctors in a way. They have to make appointments.
You can you can write an address, but not an internet link for the location. But then you can put that in the message where you send the link to the Doodle. You know, when you invite them to vote, you say the meeting will take place here. And that's it.
Nice. Thank you. Nice. Great.
Thank you.
One thing is, remember that one of the ideas we had last year was not only to go through the app, but to make use of it within the SIG, right? Explore it, and use it.
Yes, great. So, well, I think that we have the date for our next meeting and the topic. So everything is ready for
about time management. I mean, what can we do about beyond Calendly and Doodle? What else are there any other tools that have to do with that?
Oh yes, you can have a tree. You have a management tools for focused work. Like there are lots of them. Like
you can inspire us. Okay.
Forest, for example, check. Yeah, forest. You plant trees when you want to set time 40 minutes of focused work, and then you can have like the Pomodoro technique. So you can plant trees in forest app. I don't know, you can plant a tree and you see, and you put, well, but I'm sharing it now, but you will have other apps like that to help people and students focus. Okay, in 40 minutes, do it, because if not, you get distracted. There's no multitasking. Just do it.
Okay.
And we can think of maybe other ways of using them.
Yes.
Yes. And you will have a whole forest if you focus for a long time. That's my yes, or for me, or many times.
Okay, so anything that has to do with keeping time
management, focus. Yes, this is forest.
And Stacy, what is the name of the app? Forest.
It's forest in Google. It's just forest. Then you go when you finish, you will have your tree.
I think they plant a real plant. When you
yes, you can pay also, and you get real. Who was talking? Sorry, I interrupted.
Isis.
Okay, Isis. What were you saying, Isis?
That you can plant a real life plant, and they wrote your name, something like that.
Yes. Habrá un árbol machito en tu bosque, pero ese es en este bosque, and then you have to find out if there are apps that allow you to do that, if you pay or something, or I don't know. Well.
Great.
Okay.
Well, interesting, very interesting. So,
okay.
Thank you to all the experiences that you shared today. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
I have a request for help.
Yes.
Somebody can give me a quick answer. You know the Recursero I shared in the WhatsApp group with.
Yes.
I don't remember the tool they used to create it. Well, I tried to create one for myself to share resources I have with one of the classes with that tool. And they said, when I created it, it said, okay, the page has to go under review. And in 2 days, you'll hear from us. And 8 days have gone by. I've sent messages and I'm not getting a reply. I've been Googling, and their last activity on Facebook was in 2016. So I'm getting the idea that they are not active. Do you know any other tool I can use for something like that? Somebody mentioned Baloo, but I never tried it.
Simbaloo is good and it's easy to use and it's free.
Which is the name of the tool? Can you type it in the chat?
Yes, they told me, I can't the chat, yeah. Simbaloo, that was the
Simbaloo.
They told me about there, yeah.
Yes.
I have been using it for some time. You can even have different boards. For example, I have one with the apps for speaking, the other ones for listening. And I have had it for many years and it still works.
Yes. Is that possible in Baloo? Like one section for speaking tools, one section for...
Yes, you have different, yes. You have different pages for different material.
Right, and the moment you create the page, you can share it with someone else.
Yes.
Yes.
For that too, Juliana. Okay. So I know.
Can you explore? Can you share Simbaloo next time? Is it
Lydia?
Yes.
Yes, I can. And
ways to share all the links. I was thinking of organizing all my links for I teach methodology for high school, so I have lessons you can observe, material on the different methods, tools for whatever. I wanted to have all that together somewhere.
Yeah, Pearl Trees, Juliana says, and I know that OneNote, the new OneNote is very good, very nice with all the tabs, with different colors, different copybooks. Many people are fascinated. Some students love OneNote now. So maybe we can explore those, no? Like Pearl Trees, I don't know.
Pearl Trees, Simbaloo.
I don't even know the name in English, ways to create Recursero. I don't know.
One tool that has helped me lately to save some time is Vocaroo. That is an app to record your voice.
Yeah.
And it's very easy, it's very user-friendly, and it saves a lot of time because you can record your questions, you can record the assignments, and this will help students to focus on what you are saying and helps. And they are, I'm starting to teach the students how to use it because they can also send me a Vocaroo and make a presentation there. And it's very easy to use and it's free. The recordings stay there in the cloud like for 3 months, then they erase automatically. But it's really very useful because you can give an assignment instead of typing everything. You can record your voice, and maybe in 5 minutes, you can give instructions or ask questions, and it's, for me, it's a time-saving device. It's really very useful.
Yes, I am using now Mode, the Chrome extension. So when I am checking the Google Docs or the Google presentations, instead of writing, I record my voice and the feedback. So then my,
can you make
sorry,
comments?
Gladys?
Can you make voice comments to the docs like that?
Yes.
Ah,
so you can you see when you are checking in a Google Doc, you can highlight a word or something, immediately it pop-ups the window, and if you have the Chrome extension, you click on the icon and you record your voice.
But do students need to have the extension installed in order to listen to your comments, or do they just get the comment there?
No, I mean, you can record it. I think
I tried something like that, but with another tool, but I never got.
Sorry, but
to the comments.
I can't hear you well because my internet is unstable.
No, yes, her voice is not coming out very clearly.
Ah, okay.
No, it's my microphone. Okay, I'll type.
Okay, okay. Okay. A question.
I'm not.
Yeah, Juli, then I'm going to contact you. Don't worry.
Yeah, fantastic.
Welcome, Juli.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, they have to, Gladys. Yes. Yeah. That, but it is an option. Okay. So, yes, in Vocaroo, you share the link and they can record anything without adding any extension at all. So this is the advantages of Vocaroo and the difference with Mode. But in my case, my students, I mean, I use a lot of Google apps, everything. Actually I use, and my student as well, so they have extensions, okay, to work with. Yes. Yes, Mode, you can use it, Gladys, but your student have to download the extension. Yes, you have to add it in as an extension. I don't know any other.
Talk and comment is another one. That it's another extension.
I know what, but now I cannot remember the name of, like, you mean when you, like, for example, are correcting students' assignments in Google Docs, there is one, but I'm trying to find it. Okay.
Copy.
Maybe this one with a K.
Which one? Yeah, Copy. Yeah, I remember this.
Can you share Copy? What is that? What does it allow you? You can insert comments.
Yeah. Let me, but I think that is the same of Mode. Your students need to download it. I don't know if this is the correct name. I don't remember, but it was with a K. It is starting with a K.
With K, but it was not Kathy. I cannot remember now, but I inserted the comments, but then the students would see nothing. They saw a highlighted section of the text, and that was it. And they told me that they wouldn't have to install the extension, but I didn't get it to work. But it was not Kathy. It was with a K, but I don't remember what.
Oh, I'm going to check.
Well, maybe we need to investigate. This is another one.
Talk and comment. Yes, Alice. I remember that. Yes.
I have that one.
But I'm going to check this one of copy because I used to.
The idea again, if we what we said in 2020 was that if we explore too many, okay, or we mention too many, it's better. Less is more, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
So just maybe concentrate on 1, 2,
yes,
and have the possibility to explore, because if not, we are just having a lot of names and what? So
no
maybe
experience.
the ones that find it easy or
Kaizina. I remember it was called with K, you know. Capi, Kaizina, I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Juliana. Thank you. Kaizina, yeah. Yes, Alice, you're right. You're right.
Because we're throwing so many for the same things that what, not.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree with you. And so the topic for our next meeting will be time management, okay? Explore this question of Doodle, Calendly, maybe in Trello, that is to organize and to deal with your tasks, okay? Give priority to your tasks, etc. I don't know if you know any other. Stimbalu, that is another one to organize your.
For time management, I don't know if we have it together with the others.
Sorry, Gladys?
Timbalu is not really for time management. I don't
know.
No,
but maybe it's to I use it when to concentrate all the apps together, the ones that I use. Okay, so and I have a one page with all the apps, so I directly went there and I check it. But well,
you can help us with that. That's good. That's good to show us that.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, but well, is it? So do you agree with Calendly and all the apps? Okay. Yes. Very good. So our next meeting will be the 26th at 9:30, right? Yes. And if you have any comment or any suggestion, remember in the WhatsApp group, Juliana, I'm going to contact you. Okay, I'm going to send you all the information and welcome.
Welcome.
Good. It was great to have you. Well, anything else? I'm going to stop the recording officially. So.
Organize the session.
Sorry?
Are you going to organize it like, I don't know, Cecilia will present Calendly from 9:45 to 10, then or something like that, or will it be more spontaneous?
I don't know. What do you think?
Sorry, I couldn't get it very well.
If we are going to have fixed speakers from time to time or just random like today?
The idea is, I mean, the idea is to have 1 or 2 speakers or singers that want to share anything, but it was like today. So everyone tried to share a bit. So try to organize, maybe we have, we can organize the time allotted to each one, just in case to expand so much. Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, to organize better.
Yeah.
No? So that we make
yeah,
sure that because there are some key tools. Calendly is very simple. I've already shown most of it. So really.
Okay.
But maybe some other tools require more time, and we want to allot these people the right time to the right tools. No.
Okay, so we can explore, and then in the WhatsApp group you can say, okay, I want to share with you what I explored about Doodle or about Do you agree?
That's right.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
great.
Now I'm going to stop sharing. Sorry, not
Okay.
sharing. Recording.
I will call it today.
Okay. Thank you all.
Great.